Good afternoon, my name is Sanara Makirova and I'm a graduate student at Nazarbayev University. Right now I'm going to present you a tutorial on one of the most important skills that has to be developed if a student is planning to succeed in academic writing. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm going to reveal you the secret. Right now we are going to learn how to borrow ideas from different sources without plagiarizing them. That is considered to be as paraphrasing. So let me introduce the purpose and different strategies that you can use in your paraphrasing. Prior to the tutorial itself, I'm going to look through the overview that we are going to follow. The first definition for the paraphrasing will be given and the benefits of this skill will be explained. Next, we are going to look through the steps that you can follow in your paraphrasing process. And the criteria at this stage will be explained. Actually, the criteria that describe a good paraphrase. And finally, we'll look through the methods or different techniques that you can use in your paraphrasing. So we are going to talk about definition. And in this slide, you can see the definition given by online dictionary Merriam-Webster. And according to that definition, we can identify two main characteristics of paraphrasing, which is changing the form of the extract without altering its main idea. All students, and I'm not an exception, will admit that paraphrasing is really a beneficial skill for us. First of all, it helps us to integrate ideas from different sources without plagiarizing them. Secondly, we can understand better the original source that we are reading if we read it several times in order to paraphrase. And the last thing, paraphrasing helps us not to quote too much in our paraphrased version. And actually, in this moment, I want to clarify one moment. Actually, quoting is not really bad to do if you find some ideas or phrases of the author to be like too specific or too unique in order to be paraphrased. For example, in this extract that is taken from the article Online Graduate Students' Perception of Best Learning Experience, I have found those 5 main themes as critical thinking assignments and so on to be too specific in order to be paraphrased. For this reason, I have left them in the same version in my paraphrased sentence, as you can see in this example. However, you have to be careful with such quotes in order not to overload your writing, as in different case your writing might sound not being written in your own voice. Next, it's time we analyzed with you the steps that you have to follow in your paraphrasing process. The first thing you do is actually reading the extract that you are going to paraphrase, and you have to read it once or even twice, 3 times until you get its main idea. So let's imagine that we have got with you the following extract that is taken from the article Education and the Crisis of Social Cohesion in Azerbaijan and Central Asia. So you can pause this video and reread that extract as many times as you wish in order to grasp its full meaning. So as soon as you have analyzed its main idea, you can see in the following slide 2 main ideas that I have found in that extract. So we can see that as soon as the Soviet Union collapsed, all newly independent countries, they faced with economic decline, and it resulted in in the country's investment in education also being reduced. The next step you do is you have to choose the words that you are not going to paraphrase. As I have mentioned before, some words they are simply impossible to be paraphrased, as they might be too unique or to be too special. For example, in this text that we have already analyzed with you, I'm not going to paraphrase the next words as Soviet Union, budget and education, So it means that I'm going to leave them in the same form and in the same version in my paraphrased sentence. The third step is connected with actually writing your sentence in your own words. In this step, you can change the structure of the sentence from the passive voice into the active voice or vice versa. And also you can replace some phrases with their synonyms, which are available in online dictionaries. As for me, I tend to use this website, thesaurus.com, as it not only provides us with the list of synonyms for the words that which synonyms you are looking for, but it also highlights the ones that are the most appropriate to use. So as soon as you have written your sentence, you have to compare that with the original version in order to define if your sentence expresses absolutely the same idea. Next, so the final step in our paraphrasing process is connected with citing the author whose idea you have borrowed. And you shouldn't forget about proper APA style. So actually about citing the author, you can complete that either inside the sentence or at the end of the sentence. And do not forget to include that author in the reference list that you are going to provide at the end of your assignment or thesis paper. Having completed all those steps, we have the next sentence that you can see in the slide. To make that sentence, I have followed all the steps that I have described above. Next, we are going to look through the criteria for a good paraphrase. Actually, those criteria are mentioned in the source work that we use in our to improve our academic English. But actually, I think that those criteria they can be concluded from the steps that we have taken with you. So, you have written a good paraphrase if it expresses absolutely the same idea as in the original extract or sentence. Also, you have to remember that no new ideas are added and no important ideas are deleted in comparison with the original version. The second criteria is connected with your sentence if it differs enough from the original version. What it means? Actually, like your sentence, it has to sound in your own voice. There shouldn't be too many words or phrases that were taken in the same version and form as in the original sentence. And the last criteria is connected with citations that we have already mentioned with you. Like your paraphrase version, it has to to cite whose author, whose idea you have borrowed in your writing assignment. So here in this slide, you see the original version of the extract of the sentence that is taken from the article Preparing for Post-Method Pedagogy. And here at the bottom of the slide, you have the paraphrased version that has absolutely the same idea as in the original one. It is different enough from the first source, and also I have included the citation. I have included those authors whose idea I have borrowed in my sentence. The next step we are going to complete is analyzing the techniques that you are going to follow. According to the source work that we are using with my groupmates a lot, there are two main techniques that can be used for paraphrasing. The first one is called tell-a-friend method. So here, as you can see in this picture, what you actually do is you read the extract that you are going to paraphrase, and you imagine as you are going to tell that idea to your friends in your own words. So here you can see the example of the paraphrasing. So just this is the original version of the sentence that is going to be paraphrased. And here you see the version that I have written by myself. So it's written in absolutely different words, and also as you notice, the size of the paraphrased version is like almost reduced by the half in comparison with the first sentence with the original extract. The second technique is called a chunking method, and here, as you can see, you analyze your sentence, you divide that into separate chunks, and you work with each of them, you paraphrase each of them, and make up a new sentence. Here, I want to concentrate your attention, to pay your attention, that you shouldn't concentrate on the separate words, but it's better to work with the with a set of phrases. And again, here you can see the example. This is the original version taken from the article on Kazakhstan's Bolshak program. And I have paraphrased this one using chunking method. And at the end, we have got with you this version that expresses the same idea as in the previous one. It includes citation, and it is different enough from the original sentence. So we can conclude with you my tutorial, but before you actually leave such an interesting activity, I wanted to ask you to practice your paraphrasing skill with the next extracts that you can see here. There are actually 3 tasks that you have to complete. This is the first one, the second one, and the third one. I want you to leave the comment below this video, under this video, with the paraphrased version of these original sentences. Here you can see the reference list of sources that I have used in my tutorial. Thank you for your attention. I'm so happy that I have managed to teach you something.